What's up, War Room? Welcome back, Joe and Connor. Fresh off recording a podcast where Connor correctly realized that I was talking into my laptop, not my nice fancy microphone. You know, these are the mistakes we still make, but it's all right. We're corrected for War Room to talk Film Room to answer all your Discord questions. Listening to this Wednesday morning, it's like practically week 2 already. There's no gaps in the football season. CR, how we feeling? We're in it now. It's every week. How we doing?
Man, the spin cycle or whatever you want to call it, it's a whirlwind, especially a whirlwind when the Jets play an eventful game.
Yes.
Like it was, I did Big Ten Saturday, woke up Sunday, immediately went down to the city, did Jets for SMY from morning, it's basically call it 8 to 8 almost, 8 to 7. Get home, eat. You and I do Badlands, have our convo about the game. I did our friend of the show, John Jastrzemski's New York pod. But then when you wake up Monday, it's like, wait, now there's so much to do. There's the film room. And then now the Jets are oddly kind of a not national media darling. Like you're not going to turn on Get Up or whatever dumb show is on and hear about the Jets. But football Twitter with like Justin Fields and Armand Membu and, all these different kinds of storylines. Aaron Glenn seems a little into the Jets. So, and they almost beat the Steelers and they scored a ton of points. And you forget what the whirlwind of it is like. By the time you get to Wednesday, you feel like you ran a marathon. And I mean that in the best way. It's thrilling. It's fun. It's exciting as we sit here and record our second show of the night for War Room. But man, like, I hope that's what this season is like. I don't want like when they lost the Cardinals last year. I don't want that feeling where by Monday at 9 a.m. you're like, can we just play another game?
Quarterbacks for the draft next
year.
week?
Anything else? Literally anything else.
Yeah, I was handling some stuff up in Massachusetts, so I got up at 4:45 in the morning, drove straight shot to MetLife, met up with Paul and Will. We did the Jetheads pregame, got to talk, got to hang out with Izzy and some other people, fans in the parking lot, which was great. Into the stadium, which as I said, was a great environment and all things considered, like good energy all around. And got a couple of fun shout outs. Hey, like you're the guys from YouTube, like Patreon, sure. It's all good. We take it. We love it all. And then had effectively, we recorded and then I drove back for another like 4 hours. And I got back like at 1 a.m, got up, worked, and catching up with all the shit we had in the feed. Like it was all like excellent. I wanted to hear like every minute of it because we got to hear from Paul Meeks, Dan, Will, have your film room. And it was like just to hear everyone's different perspective on the game. And now it's like, hey man, like it's like this is hitting Wednesday and it's practically into week 2, but it was an energizing game. I also find that when I watch a game in person, and this is just a function of the digital era, I guess, I was like, I wonder what these highlights look like on TV. I wonder what this touchdown looked like on TV.
Right.
So I have to like go back and like watch all the highlights and like watch the game on broadcast and just to get that, get that experience. All right. So let's dig into the Discord questions from Isaiah Davis, Enjoyer. Great name. Please ignore if asked already, but just looking ahead, if Fields plays like he did this past Sunday and plays like it all season, would you be willing to not draft a quarterback in the first round of the upcoming draft?
Yes.
To really put the team on fast forward this offseason. So long-winded question of if Fields plays like that, are you not drafting a quarterback? I think the answer is a straightforward yes. He's young.
I mean, like
he's
that.
Athletic. If that happens, that's the Baker Mayfield, right? It's a different kind of player, but that's the guy who you're going to give another contract to because you found your quarterback. And if Fields plays like that every single week and the Jets start like tinkering and getting better in other places, they're going to be a competitive team. And that's always the thing with him. It's like, is the consistency going to be there? He has all the tools. Can he protect the football? Can he be as patient as he was as a passer? Can he move on to the second and third read? But if he plays like that all season, they are not going to draft a quarterback in the first round next year, nor should they. They should probably draft a number 2 receiver or a safety or something else. That what are their other glaring issues on the team? I don't even think it's a question. If he plays like that all year, what do those stats project out to?
I just did it. That's what. So
let me hear him.
It'd be a little over 3,700 passing yards and 816 rushing yards.
So that'd be the number 1 passing season in Jets history, or right?
That's so ridiculous.
Right up there, like
it's up there.
Yeah.
And people forget Namath I think was he the first quarterback to hit 4,000? I did a weird study on this like a long time ago. Namath, and it's why I get very bothered when people that never watched him play and just hate the Jets are like, oh, Joe Namath's the most overrated athlete ever. Namath in 1967 threw for over 4,000 yards. I'm pretty sure that didn't even become a thing again until the 80s. Namath was basically like how you view, and yes, he was injured eventually and fell off throughout part of his career, but Namath in the 60s, and I'm 33 saying this. I'm sure we have listeners out there, that watch this or understand this even better. What Namath was doing then was like, wow, we've never seen this kind of passing in the NFL. So it wouldn't be the number one, but it would be Joe Namath and then Justin Fields. So
that's crazy. And he'd throw what, 30, he'd have 30. I'm trying to think how many touchdowns that projects out to. He threw for 1, ran for 2. So
yeah,
he's going to have 3 total touchdowns a game. He's going to, rack up 50 plus total touchdowns.
Right.
Would be nice. Also, Will McDonald, get 2 sacks a game every game. Get us
please. Please.
DP Dubs. Fresh off watching.
I will. Sorry, Joe. I will say quickly though, on the question is, because he's obviously not going to play like that every week. I think if he plays more like that, and the Jets win 7 or 8 games, and the quarterback class is a 2-man class that you really like, maybe it lets you kick the can down the road another year. That's nice. Not problem, but solution to have that. Okay, we're going to take the top receiver in the draft instead. Let's see if Justin Fields could be even better. Justin Fields doesn't have to do as much as people think for the Jets to not draft a quarterback in the top 10. But obviously there's a chance they do if he plays poorly. But yeah, this was the almost dream start.
It was just fun to watch, man. I think if you forget if you're a Jet fan, or if you know Jet fans in your life, how infrequently we get to watch fun quarterback performances.
Right.
There was not fun Aaron Rodgers games, right? I know statistically he had a couple ones late in the season. I could promise you Jets Jags and Jets Snoop Huntley were not fun games, right? Like from the quarterback, from the teams, from the situation. That game, I mean, Zach had one fun game, I think, like Jets Titans in his rookie year when he was just like doing off-platform random bombs to Corey Davis. And that was kind of it. This game was, I don't think he could do this every week, but goddamn if he can, that is a great situation to be in.
Well, I think also, I know it's one game, and people love saying that, but like, what do you want us to do? They played one game. We're going to analyze the game.
This is like when people get mad at Aaron Glenn for like saying something at a press conference, and it's like, okay, well, win the games. It's like, well, they don't have a game today. It's Wednesday.
Yeah, it's right. That's exactly right. But in one game, Tanner Engstrand showed you he knows exactly what
offensive coordinator ever already
skill set he's dealing with. Like he didn't try to make Fields into anything he's not. And Engstrand comes from an offense that had a very, very, quarterback lacking mobility.
Yeah.
So this is a change for him in this situation. And I think that, it's, I don't care that it's one game. He showed you that he can match his play design with the skill set.
The week 1 overreactions. We know Lions fans are dying for Engstrand instead of Johnny Morton as their coordinator. We know they're missing Aaron Glenn. And we know
bad Johnny Morton debut this week.
Yes. And we know Bears fans kind of wish they kept Fields and didn't draft Caleb Williams. So it's week 1. It's week 1, folks. We get it. We know. All right. This question was about our dear friend Arian Smith. Fresh off watching the film, in-season film room, The Best of Badlands. I was wondering how Arian Smith looked on his 6 snaps. What was his route tree? Did he get much separation? What I noticed from in the game, there was only one rep from him that I remember where they brought him in motion, and I thought they were going to give him a reverse. It was just more of like a decoy snap. I don't know if they called any play where he was potentially set up to be the deep shot that we talked about. I would have to imagine he's going to get a little more burn next week. I could be wrong, but what did you see in the limited action he had?
So I only, in my film database, and I use PFF Ultimate, I only had 3 receiving snaps where like he actually is out there running a route. Yeah. So one of them, and I'll rewatch him right now. One of them, he was used as in the slot, and he's used as a fake screen, but it's just there's nothing. It just threw a quick out to Garrett Wilson. It was in the first quarter, so that he wasn't really a part of that play. The second play was in the second quarter. They put him in motion, like that running start jet motion, but the read the whole way is the other side of the field. Fields is just looking. They had a condensed formation, so Garrett is very, very close to the line, and Garrett just works an in-breaking route, and Fields hit him, and it was a gain on 1st and 10. It was a throw for a first down. So Smith on that. Now the jet motion, like you could argue that's a good usage of him because it forced the coverage over him. Although they actually only had one defender on him, and he technically, like if that was the read, he would have been open because Smith is so fast and he is in one-on-one situation, and he kind of just off the jet motion, it looks like he just kind of runs a post, or it's actually a very rounded route. I can't even tell. And then he did throw like a nasty shove to the DB after Garrett had the catch. So I think he was, credit to Arian Smith. Like he gets out on the field and he wants to make the most of the couple of times he gets out on the field. That's good to see. And then the third one, they had Garrett in motion working away from Arian Smith. And Arian is once again, these condensed formations that they like, because you got to realize with a formation like that, rather than playing them really out wide, it allows them to almost kind of operate like a slot receiver without having to be a true slot receiver. Like you could be the isolated receiver on your side, but when you're so condensed, you kind of have that two-way go ability that a slot receiver has. And this was a play that Fields, I think, was pressured on. He held the ball. Yeah, it would have been. So there was a linebacker underneath and the coverage over him, so he wasn't going to go throw to Arian in the middle of the field. Fields stepped up and then dumped it down where it was Garrett got stopped at the 1. So Garrett would have his second touchdown. That was in the third quarter. Garrett had that. Like, it was a weird tackle.
How did he get into the end zone on that? I was like, oh, he's in. I was like, how did he not get in?
He kind of, it's like, it was a weird jump tackle, like around his head. Now that I'm actually watching I only watched the overhead view of this the first time. Watching the close-up, it was like, I want to see if it was actually any contact to the head. So, but yeah, Arian they didn't have, like, he wasn't any of the reads. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't, I'm watching this tackle again, and it's just, I mean, I guess he got around the chest plate when he dropped him, but it looked ugly. So, yeah, they didn't really, he wasn't like designed to get the ball on any of these looks. They like having his speed out there. I think that they just don't think he could play enough snaps because of his size right now, where they're such a run heavy team that, I mean, Reynolds, for context, had 25 receiving snaps, where Arian Smith had 3. It kind of tells you everything that you need to know right now. Like Tyler Johnson had 14. Yeah. So, although I'm intrigued. I know I've been low man on Arian Smith, but like I'm intrigued by getting him out there and letting him, like with Fields' arm, letting him try to, run under one, take a shot.
I mean, I'll say this, to return a kick in the spot he did and like look competent is not easy. Like it's your first touch as an NFL player. You're back deep with a minute left, 34-32. Caught the ball, ran the right way, had a stiff arm, got out of bounds, didn't look like he was about to shit his pants like Gibson does every time he touches the ball. Like, there's something there. I was like, okay, maybe there's something here as a returner at least. We'll see. Next one from David. What is a comp for Membu if he continues to play like he did Sunday? Deion Dawkins, perhaps. I don't want Deion Dawkins. You know we don't like Deion Dawkins here. But do your Membu gushing now. We've all got to do it. He was absolutely awesome. What kind of comp do you have after watching what he did to TJ Watt in his debut?
There's a reason why I compared him to Christian Darrisaw, right? And I know Darrisaw plays on the left side, but with tackles, I mean, so you look at the body type, right? These are guys that, and I said this on the film room, they don't really look like your classic case of tackles. Darrisaw is 6'4.5", 322. That is pretty compact for a tackle. That's more of a guard build. Membu, I'm pretty sure, I'm looking at my draft doc now, is 6'4.5", 332. So these are compact guys, but they have long enough arms. That's the difference with Darrisaw and Membu, and they're so explosive. I mean, Darrisaw is one of the best tackles in the league when healthy for Minnesota. So with Membu, man, what is so unique about him, he has this really, really thick base that he generates so much explosive strength and power from. But rather than his power being so like one dimensional, like think of Michael Clemens, right? Michael Clemens, when you watch him play, I know it's really, I don't mean to be cruel. Clemens from point A to B in a 5-yard straight line can generate some kind of power. But when you ask him to move any inch left to right, it gets ugly. Membu can generate that special straight line power, but when when pass rushers counter against him, his ability to flip and readjust his hips whilst his hand usage is in sync with his lower half. It's the Kenny Clark rep from the preseason. When we watch Membu perfectly handle Kenny Clark and swivel his hips and readjust his power, he carried that over into a TJ Watt, where TJ Watt's not big enough to overpower Membu. So what he has to try to do is set him up with some power and eventually work around him. But Membu is so strong that when he does readjust himself and catches you, it's not that it stalls you. It actually sends you the opposite way. So, yeah, Membu needed some development as a run blocker, which already paid dividends in this game because it was more getting under control and landing on your targets and sustaining blocks. And you could already tell he's been very well coached this summer. He's a guy that when he's playing with an edge, it is very scary to be in front of him because he hurts people, he buries them. And credit to the Jets this summer who have clearly done more. I love
They
Membu.
hire the right offensive line coach.
Right, who is coaching tight ends or played tight end. It looks good right now. I thought Membu, and I was very upfront about this, was the best tackle in the draft. I did not think Will Campbell was a tackle. I was very honest about that. Some people didn't like hearing that from me. Right now, after 1 week, and we got about $1 million to go for both of them, that looks pretty clear as day as the right take. But watch body types and how guys work and how flexible they are and how much core strength they could generate. And Membu has all the tools in the world. The only reservations I ever had was he's really a kid. He was turning 21 and he had one real year. He was a guard recruit out of high school, but he has leaned into his development, and the Jets seem to you get the Fashanu and Sauce feeling right away. Like, you just know that this guy's probably going to be a damn good player for a long time.
In rewatching the game, and it wasn't surprising to me that this is what stuck with me the most. The way their offensive line was moving people and how nimble and fast Brees looked behind it, it reminded me a little bit of some of the 2009, 2010 elements when their running game was really humming. Now, Brees is a very different player than Thomas Jones,
right,
and Sean Green, and Danian Tomlinson. Maybe a little Tomlinson in his game at times, but just that ability to just create space and wear down a defense and just rip off like 7-yard, 14-yard runs. The screen where he ripped off the 30-yarder. That their offensive line just looks so athletic and so physical, and they're just scratching the surface, it feels like. Tippmann, to one game, looked comfortable and like perfect at guard. And if Myers is a league average center and it allows Tippmann to develop into being a really damn good guard, okay, that worked out. That's a surprise downstream effect of a bummer of an ADT injury. Simpson looked like the same guy he was last year.
Yes.
But Membu and Olu, if those guys are like really good, I mean, life gets so much easier going forward for building this roster. Any quarterback that is back there, it could be Fields, it could be a guy you draft. To have tackles like that, never mind having guys like Garrett and Brees and helping make plays for you, it's just night and day. And there's going to be, like, the Steelers are going to have a good defense this year. They're a well-coached team. We could poke fun at Rodgers all we want, and we don't love him. We don't love Ramsey. Like, worst case, the Steelers are going to be a 7-10 or 8-9 team. Best case, they're going to be a 9-8, 10-7 team. They're going to be competitive. The Jets are going to play the Panthers, the Dolphins, the Saints, the Browns. There's going to be certain teams that I think they're going to be able to just beat the absolute shit out of up front, who are
Yeah.
not going to have any answer. Where if Brees is playing like that, and Membu and Olu keep pushing and developing, that's going to be exciting. There's going to be some fun weeks out there, and I was just incredibly impressed with how those young tackles played. And also, we talked about him a lot all summer, and I don't think anyone in our world was surprised. Will McDonald looks like a star. Like, he looks like he's going to be a 13, 14 sack guy who's pressing to be a Pro Bowler, all pro. I'm glad we both took the over on that, and I'm glad we were bullish on him repeating as a double-digit sack guy. Very exciting that JJ looks right. He's still not 100%, you could tell, but Will McDonald's ceiling is at a different level, and he's not going to get 2 sacks every week, but man, I would be really surprised if he's healthy, if he's not hovering around that 15 sack number, because when he gets it going, he is a problem. And they're going to play. I mean, I know he really beat up on Broderick Jones. There's going to be some other matchups that it's going to be fun to watch him take advantage of. And it also makes such a damn difference to have competent players like Phillips and Briggs in there, like moving, occupying space and allowing Quinnen to be Quinnen and Will McDonald to be Will McDonald. If the